Some things are meant to endure. Your 1966 Chevy II is one of them. A tough, durable, practical automobile, it was designed to give years of maximum service at minimum cost of upkeep and operation. How well has Chevy II lived up to its original promise? Listen to the voices of the people who know. First, a Chevrolet Proving Grounds engineer.
In the 35,000-mile durability test, Chevy II came out with the least repairs of any of the 39 competing cars.
A Chevrolet Service Department engineer.
Ever since Chevy II first came out 4 years ago, its warranty and policy costs have been consistently lower than any other car under Chevrolet warranty.
But for the most telling comment of all, let's go to San Diego, California, where the Yellow Cab Company operates a fleet of 140 Chevy II taxicabs. As you know, one of the worst things that can happen to a car is to become a taxicab. For cabbing is a continual, round-the-clock endurance run. 60,000 miles a year of grueling stop-and-go driving that goes on and on until the car literally falls apart. How are these 140 Chevy II cabs standing up to the brutal punishment of taxicab service? Listen to Charles Pratt, president of San Diego Yellow Cab Company.
We're extremely happy with the Chevy II. We've used them now for 4 years. We've had good driver and passenger reaction to them, and they have stood the gaff real well.
What about operating costs?
Well, operating costs are substantially less than a standard model car for several reasons. One, we have longer brake life. Car weighs a lot less, so we can get by with a different licensing fee, which is a substantial saving to the operator. Good gasoline economy, of course, is a big factor also.
How do you think Falcons would work out in taxicab service, Mr. Pratt?
Well, I don't know. From the things we hear from other operators around the country, nothing compares to the Chevy II as far as our costs are reflected.
Are you going to continue buying Chevy IIs, Mr. Pratt?
Yes, I just ordered 40 more of the 66 models.
Listen to Ross Dowers, shop foreman, San Diego Yellow Cab Company.
The Chevy IIs are averaging around 140,000 miles before a major overhaul. Some of them have gone 200,000 miles before we've even had the head off.
Listen to the drivers.
Well, the Chevy II is a real first-rate car. It gets you where you're going, and it's important. You don't make money standing on a street corner waiting for a tow truck. You got to have a car you can depend on.
Like a Chevy II?
That's right, like a Chevy II.
Sure, I like the Chevy II fine. It handles like a baby carriage. That's important, too. You ain't so tired nights.
Let's face it, it's a hell of a car.
And that's the story told by the people who know. Though Chevy II is more beautiful this year than ever before, though it ushers in whole new dimensions of style and luxury, it's still the car with the unmatched record for toughness, economy, and long-lasting durability.
The Demolition Derby. This is part of your 1966 Chevrolet selling story. For Chevrolet value, Chevrolet resale, Chevrolet guts and strength and dependability run long and deep and far into the life of an automobile. Till cars get to here, and till cars get here. 6 million cars a year end here. Since Chevrolet has outsold everybody over the last decades by wide margins, you'd think more Chevrolets would be scrapped. But just the reverse is true. More Chevrolets keep running, giving service, while more Fords wear out and come to the end of the line. The actual scrappage figures for a recent period present a very startling picture. 1956 Chevrolets scrapped, 184,000. Fords, 302,000. 55 Chevrolets, 289,000. Fords, 375,000. 54s, 241,000 to 380,000. 53s, 381,000 to 455,000. In a recent 7-year period, over 595,000 more Fords were scrapped than Chevrolets. The reason for that isn't sentiment. It's value. Basic, fundamental Chevrolet value. And now, today, in Chevrolet's best tradition, the full-size Chevrolet lineup, extended, amplified, and spearheaded by the new Caprice models, represents the greatest value the automobile marketplace has ever offered. Now, let's get specific about features and proof and product sell that you can use for your 1966 Chevrolets. First, that incomparable Chevrolet ride. Nobody in Chevrolet's class has matched it yet. Chevrolet's sturdy frame and full coil suspension give it a smooth, solid, road-hugging ride that none of the others can approach. Just look at the difference as a Chevrolet and a Ford come over this ride. The Ford's wheels go clear off the ground, while the Chevrolets remain solidly planted on the road. That famous Chevrolet ride was never better. To prove it, show your customers the balanced coin demonstration. It's a real test of Chevrolet ride. Chevrolet not only rides better, it has a shorter turning diameter and quicker, more responsive steering. Try that with a Plymouth VIP. Inches difference gives Chevrolet a real advantage over Plymouth. Here's a test to demonstrate a Chevrolet quality advantage. Try it first on a Ford LTD. Now try it on a Caprice. That Caprice body is solid as a rock. Here's another demonstration, proving that Chevrolet quality is more than skin deep. Heavy, sound-deadening insulation under the hood of the Caprice. None under the hood of the Ford LTD. None under the hood of the Plymouth VIP. Again, Caprice quality where it counts. Now another test. With sensitive sound metering equipment set up outside this Ford LTD and a microphone inside, we're going to try an experiment. With the door open, the sound level, as heard inside each of the 3 cars we'll be testing, is a little over 0.9. With the door closed, the sound level on this Ford LTD drops to 0.2. Next, the Plymouth VIP. With the door closed, the sound level again drops to 0.2. And now the Caprice. With the door closed, the sound level as heard inside the car drops to a trifle over 0.1. Nearly 90% of the outside noise has been sealed out by the extra soundproofing in the Caprice. Anybody can build a more powerful engine if he doesn't care how much gas it uses. But Chevrolet does care. Here's a test to give you the lowdown on fuel economy. Each car will use exactly 1 gallon of gasoline. Caprice with a 396 cubic inch engine, Ford with the 390, Plymouth with the 383. All 3 with automatic transmissions. They will stay together. Identical conditions, identical speeds, averaging 40 miles per hour. So watch those gas bottles and remember what you were told about that new 396 cubic inch engine in the Chevrolet. How its design was way out ahead of every other production engine being offered today. How it breathed deeper, had straighter passageways for both intake and exhaust to increase its efficiency. Now see what that means in fuel economy. That's it for the Ford. There goes the Plymouth. But the Chevrolet, with that new 396 cubic inch engine, is still rolling right along. For the Ford, it's 13.1 miles on a gallon. For the Plymouth, it's 13.6 miles. For the Chevrolet, it's 15.7. 2 1/10 more than Plymouth. 2 6/10 more than Ford. Chevrolet leadership gives you so many advantages. And one of the biggest is price. For instance, 53% of Caprice buyers used to buy these cars: Pontiac, Buick, Mercury, Oldsmobile. But people changed over to Caprice because they found they could get everything they wanted for literally hundreds of dollars less. Chevrolet brings you so many features, it's impossible to cover them all. Magic mirror finish, inner fender skirts, ball race steering, flush and dry rocker panels, double wall cowl, fork-type door locks, bonded brake linings, full coil suspension, self-adjusting safety master brakes, and many more. One factor that sells cars is performance. And man, have you got performance this year, especially with that 396 cubic inch turbojet engine. Match it against Ford's 390 cubic inch Thunderbird engine, and watch what happens. Look at the way the 396 moves out to an early lead and holds it right through the run. And don't forget that 396 turbojet is exactly the same engine that just trounced the Ford in economy. And now, as a fitting climax, a 66 Impala Super Sport with a high-performance 427 turbojet challenges some of the highest horse-powered cars on the road today. Buick Wildcat, Pontiac GTO and Grand Prix, Old Starfire, Ford LTD, and Plymouth VIP. And here they go, Chevrolet leaving them all in the dust.